All right. Good evening, Michaela. We're going to start the class with you. Okay. Today is going to be the start of the next unit, that is Unit 3. And actually, this is going to be a decisive unit because knowing this structure, again, you're going to be practically ready for writing the essay in its entirety. But well, actually, you were ready before, but this is going to give you the main structure that is going to be the persuasive essay that we're going to be using. Okay, but it's important to learn first some basics about what an essay is before studying. So let's start reading this together, please, Michaela. Let's start with the definition that it has.
Okay. What is an essay? A short piece of writing on a particular subject.
Okay, good, right? A very simple definition. That's what we're going to be using here. And here we have four main types of essay, but the one we're going to be using is the one in green, that it can be called persuasive or argumentative essay. That's the one we're going to be aiming, and that's the one we're going to be learning the structure about. The other ones are just to see the difference that they have between each other. So let's read, please, first only the argumentative type, Mikael.
Okay. Argumentative, skill tested, forming an opinion via research, building an evidence-based argument. Example, has the rise of the internet had a positive or negative impact on education?
Good, there you go. Thank you very much. This is going to be like via research. So this is something actually you're going to do on your essay, Michaela, because you're going to have two body paragraphs, and each body paragraph should have at least one citation. Okay, it means you're going to quote someone else's words. And it doesn't have to be like a big research, of course, something very simple, right? You go to Google, look for information related to your essay, and you're going to copy and paste words, but only specific words. You need to be careful with the number of words that you're going to be using. So you need to choose a specific and selected words, all right? But that's part of it. You're going to do some research, and everything you're going to be writing on your essay has to be based on evidence, right? On real evidence. And you need to show something like this. You have this type of question. Has the rise of the internet had a positive or negative impact on education? You need to choose one, right? And actually, that's going to be the essay about. You need to say something about a topic, anything. You can say you're not going to be in the middle, okay? Here, you're not going to say it can be positive or negative. You're going to say, in general, it's positive, or in general, it's negative because of this and that. And you only show evidence for negative, and that's it, okay? In this essay, you're going to be choosing just one specific position instead of being neutral. All right, that's going to be the characteristic. Let's go to the expository type now, please, Mikael.
Okay, expository, knowledge of a topic, communicating information clearly. Explain how the invention of the printing press changed European society in the 5th century.
Great, thank you very much. Let's only repeat this word, please. This is going to be society.
Society.
Society, exactly. Right, so this is expository. You have to explain something, that's it, period. You're not defending if it's good or bad, or your opinion on that, right? Here you have an opinion, you have a position, and you have to defend that position with evidence, right? It can be science, I don't know, but usually it's going to be scientifically based, right? But the second one is not that, it's just explaining something, how it happened, period. Narrative, I'm going to read that one. Creative language use, presenting a compelling narrative. It means you're going to narrate something. Write about an experience where you learned something about yourself, right? This is very simple. It's like a personal essay, right? You talk about something in first person, and that's it. And descriptive, that can be similar to expository, but instead of explaining something, you're just going to describe it. And sometimes it can be, let me put that over there. It can be just as simple as describing that physically in terms of the characteristics that it has. In this case, describe an object that has sentimental value for you, right? You are just going to use a variety of words. You need to have a broad vocabulary to do it. And you're going to describe sensory details. It means the looks, the sounds, right? The smells, and the texture, for example, right? And that's it. That's descriptive. So those are the four main types that you got. But the one, again, we're going to be focusing on, and the one we care about is the argumentative or the persuasive essay, because you need to convince someone that you are correct. Remember that the persuasive is one thing that has usually minimum two different positions, and you need to choose one, right? You cannot be in the middle, you have to choose one. So these are the key parts of an essay. We're going to see this in very detail. This is just the general idea, but let's read please all these key parts, Michaela.
Okay, key parts of an essay. Introduction. Here you will mention the topic of your essay and its thesis. As you know, essays can lead without a thesis. So a thesis statement in your outline will help you support in each paragraph of your essay body. Body paragraphs, there will be a minimum 3 paragraphs in your essay body, so make sure to include each one in the outline. For each paragraph, write down a topic sentence with an argument relating to your thesis and mention all the support, data, facts, examples, and other evidence you will use to prove the topic sentence of this paragraph. Conclusion, wrap up your essay here, restate your thesis, and summarize the goal of your paper.
Great, thank you, Michaela. So one thing, and I would say that it's the most important part of any essay, at least it's persuasive, is the thesis, right? If you don't have a thesis statement, your essay is not going to be complete and is not going to be correct, all right? At least for the persuasive essay. What is a thesis statement? It's something very simple. It's something that you believe it's true because you have evidence about any topic, right? Imagine that your topic is education. Your thesis statement can be that face-to-face or on-campus education is better than virtual or online education, all right? Or be-learning education, okay? That's your statement. That's your thesis statement, right? So you have grabbed any topic, education, I don't know, right? Finance, economy, politics, right? That's a main topic, and you have to say something about that topic. And that's, again, going to be the main idea, because you're going to develop your thesis throughout the entire essay. We are not going to read this, but this is mainly what you need for every part. And actually, this is something we're going to see even in more detail, because the introduction is not just two. You have 3 steps, but these are 2 that many essays follow: the topic and the thesis. But you have one in the middle that is the context and the background information that you're going to see in the next presentations. In the body paragraph, it says 3, but you have a minimum of 5, and optionally you have 6 steps. All right, you need the topic sentence. After that, you can add extra information. Then you present the evidence, then you quote the evidence, then you paraphrase the evidence, and then you finish your body paragraph by saying that how it is related to your thesis. Okay, and you have to repeat that for every body paragraph. Topic sentence, expansion, introduction of the evidence, you show the evidence, you paraphrase or explain your evidence, and you show the connection with your thesis, with your statement, right? You do that for every body paragraph, and at the end, that's why you need a minimum of 5 and 6, very likely. And the conclusion, yes, it's 6. As you can see there, and summarize all the main points. You have to restate your thesis. Actually, in the main one that we're going to do, it's the opposite. First, you're going to restate the thesis, then you're going to summarize all the main points, and then you're going to produce reflection on the reader, right? Now that you know about that, what are some other things that can be done? Okay, but again, that's just an idea of an outline. This is what we're going to be doing with you, and you're going to be getting ready for writing your essay. Now we're going to go to the specific. If you get to have any questions about that, please, you're going to let me know. But now we're going to go step by step. And first, we are going to work on the introduction. All right, the introduction, again, needs a minimum of 3 steps. And each step can be from 1 to 2 sentences, but you have to be careful because remember that you have a limit of words, right? And you need to work according to that. The introductions can sometimes, as you're going to read, right? And you must know, can be written at the end of the essay. If you want, you can do it. But here with me, we are going to practice to write it. And we're going to do it in order, okay? Introduction, body paragraph, and conclusion. So let's read, please, about introduction. This is the first step that you need. Let's read it, please, Michaela.
Okay, introduction step 1. Hook your reader. Your first sentence sets the tone for the whole essay, so spend some time on writing an effective hook. Avoid long, dense sentence. Start with something clear, concise, and catchy that will spark your reader's curiosity. The hook should lead the reader into your essay, giving a sense of topic you are writing about and why it's interesting. Avoid overly broad claims or plain statement of fact.
Great, thank you very much. So let's start working. This is the first step. Okay, you have to write it. If you want, again, the perfect score, remember it's 20 or 30 points, the structure. If you want that, you have to follow every step. It means that you have to, or you need to have, or you must have that step in case you want those points over there. Because remember, every step that we don't follow is going to result on the loss of, well, some score over there. But let's work then on the outline ourselves, all right? Outline, I'm going to give you access to this one first, actually. Okay, so, you know, as usual, it is in the chat, the link to go to that document. In the outline, we need now 3 things, right? Actually, yes, 3 main things, and each it's going to be divided in more. But let's work on that first, okay? First, the introduction. We're going to try to work with this, and it's going to be like that, only like that. All right, so just the introduction. And you know that the introduction is going to be like, let me see if this works like that. Yes. So 3 steps over here, right? So step 1, it is going to be the hook or, and sorry, I would say, and the main topic, or just the topic. All right, so you need to think like that. You need to think now on something interesting you can say about your topic, and you have to introduce your topic, but you don't have to say your thesis statement yet. Okay, if your topic is going to be education, here, don't say what you think about education as the main thesis. Just say something interesting about education. All right, so for example, I'm going to talk about technology, or I'm going to talk about just virtual or online classes. All right, but I'm going to say this technology, all right, has allowed, sorry, us to expand, spread education like this. I sorry, throughout the globe and okay, I'm just going to say that, all right? And let's imagine that that's something catchy, all right? That to me, it's going to be like something for decades, not in a matter of decades, that's something different. I believe that can be catchy for some people, and here you can try to analyze that my main topic can be related to, could be technology, and could be education, and a mix of both. And perhaps I'm going to talk about, again, virtual education or be learning education or something like that. Okay, but I believe that that's catchy, and that's introducing my main topic, that it's education plus technology. All right, that's something now you need to think of. Let's try to start working like that. It doesn't have to be your main topic. This doesn't have to be actually your main essay or what your main essay is going to be about. Just try to give me, please, a hook, something that you believe is interesting, that catches the people's attention, and something that introduces the main topic you are going to develop in this practicing class. All right, let's do it, please, Michaela. Let's have a couple of minutes and try to think of something, and we're going to check that, please. Okay, and also remember, in the meantime, this is the first step. It can be only one sentence or one complete idea. It can be two complete ideas connected by fanboys, with the rules, but it doesn't have to be too detailed. Okay, something very superficial, because the details are going to be for later on. All right, so let's take a look again at what we got, and we can continue working. Let's remember, this is only the first step, and it should be connected to something else. So let's read, please, what you got, Mika.
Okay, social media has allowed us to connect with people around the world at the same time that have an impact with our interaction face to face.
Thank you very much, Michaela. Good. I think it's very, very interesting. You are showing, right, something similar in a certain way. This one it's related to social media, right? So as you're talking about social media, then this is going to be has as well, right? And that has an impact. Instead of with, perhaps it's going to be directly in our interaction or on our interaction over there. All right, good. So, and there over there, which has, no, that it's less formal, but it's still valid. Okay, it doesn't need to be which. So that is okay. But if you want to be more formal, you can change that to which, Good. So that's one. Here, I imagine again that you're going to talk about mainly two possible things, right? Social media, that is the one you're mentioning at the beginning, or even interaction face to face. Okay, those can be the possibilities. And remember, it can be like that. It can be also something very simple, concise, and something that is related to, something that is related to, well, not specific things, because the most specific details can be brought afterwards, even in the thesis. Okay, so here, instead of that idea, just to give you one extra idea, if you need to reduce the number of words, that's going to be very important, right? You can simply say how technology, or that technology has been expanding or spreading in the last decades, and that's it. And you don't have to mention education, because perhaps your main idea is only going to be technology, and you can summarize and reduce that to that. Okay, so you can have some extra ideas in case you have to reduce the number of words. And again, that's going to be important because as you're going to be writing your essay, you're going to see that you need to decide to leave some ideas out. All right, but let's leave it in that way. That's the first one. That's good. Let's go to the next one, step number 2. That is something to expand a little bit that information. So let's read please step 2, Miguel.
Okay, step 2, give background information. Next, give your reader the context they need to understand your topic and argument. Depending on the subject of your essay, this may include historical, geographical, or social context, an outline of the debate you are addressing, a summary of relevant theories or research about the topic, definition of key terms. Don't give too much detail. You can mention points that you will return to later, but save your evidence and interpretation for the main body of the essay. How much space you need for background depends on your topic and the scope of your essay.
Okay, thank you very much, Miguel. So here again, you're going to expand your information, but you're not going to give details. You're just going to give a background. It can be historical, geographical, social background. It can be an outline of the debate you're addressing. It means you're going to mention more or less what you're going to talk about on your essay, or it can be a summary of theories, but in this case, it doesn't apply, right? If you're not mentioning any theories, you don't need that. And key terms, that's important. If you get to mention something, for example, here, I don't think we have words that are too specific. Here we don't, and here not as well. But if you use a word that is very specific to a field of study, that is not something that people know in general, you can clarify that definition in the next part. All right, so you have that option. So let's work on that. It means step number 2, right? That in general is more complex than this, but in general is going to be the background, right? The background. So if we're talking about the background, what can you talk about? In my case, I'm going to talk about the social background or something related to the pandemic, right? Because the pandemic has allowed technology even to get deeper into the education way of working. And because of the pandemic, right, many places, right, universities, colleges, and schools have started using that. Okay, so that's going to be my context. I'm going to say that due to the pandemic, and remember, everything is going to be just in one sentence, or sorry, in one paragraph, but we're dividing this just to make it clear that we have all the steps. All right, so due to the pandemic, the frequency, or no, the usage, let's say, no, let's talk about it directly to that topic. Online classes have become more and more common around the world. Okay, and here I can use that one. Okay, making clear, or yes. Okay, and benefits. Okay, something like that. Or we said something, actually this is something we're not going to say afterwards, because this is something not concrete if I say many benefits. So I'm going to say something more concrete. That's not going to be good. Making clear that it is just as good as face-to-face, all right, classes. Good, there you go. All right, so in this case, I decided to do that because remember that we're not covering that yet, but in the next lesson, we're going to see that we don't have to say many things or details that we're not going to be able to develop. Okay, so instead of that, it's better just to say one characteristic or a list of very not detailed but superficial characteristics instead of mentioning everything in detail. Okay, but with that, please, let's also do the same, Mikaela. Let's have a couple of minutes and try to give me a context. It can be social, political, or anything that is supporting that or that makes complements to that idea. All right, let's do it, please, and we'll check in a couple of minutes. Right, so we're about to get to the second minute. And let's remember again that in this case, we only need to give a glance to what we're going to talk about. It has to be very concise, precise, because all the evidence and all the detail has to be given in the body parts. Right, so with that, just in case reinforced, let's read please the idea that you got.
Okay, many young adults, especially the ones who grow up with computers and smartphones at home, have more difficulties to have conversations face to face.
Thank you very much, Michaela. Good. Now, if I ask you, what type of background are you giving me in this case? Remember that in my case, I'm giving you like a social background, right? What happened with the pandemic, and because of the characteristics of what happened with the pandemic, online classes, that is technology and education, was something that, well, had an important place in society. Right? So in your case, what do you believe it is? What type of background? Is it political, social? Is it historical?
Could be social context.
Okay, good, good. I believe that it's also social in this case. In the first part, right? Remember, you have two options. You can say that the youth in general, right, la juventud, or you can say directly many teens or teenagers. It's better if you call it like that, because only you youngs, right, is not going to be good over there. So over there, I'm going to write the two options. So right, teens or teenagers, or directly you can say the youth. All right, and that's going to be another way to talk about that population. Good, and young adults, especially the ones who grow up here in general, okay, grow up with computers and smartphones at home, have more difficult is going to be just one adjective, but in this case, you're talking about how hard it is, so it's going to be difficulty, okay, more difficulty to have conversations face to face. All right, so good. There you go. I think it's good. It's working great. I don't know if you have any questions so far, Michaela. Let me know, please.
I think no, because in the introduction, I don't need to like make uh, like quotation. Sorry, I forgot the word.
Yes,
Uh,
if you want to use someone else's words, yes, you can say you don't need to work with quotes or citations.
Citation. I don't need in the introduction, right?
Yes, you can do it. It's a possibility, but it's not a requirement. And sometimes it's not a good idea because actually here you are saying things that you think. It doesn't have to be specific. So it's better that all the citations and the quotes are saved for the body paragraphs. Okay, at
Okay.
least in this type of essay, that's what we expect. Good, so
Okay.
great. We're good so far. Now, let's continue. Let's keep working. Let's see how it goes. That's the second. We only have one more step. It means that we are about to finish the introduction. And then we can start taking a look at the next part. That is the body paragraph. Today, at least the introduction or the first part of the body paragraph. And on Wednesday, I remember Monday we didn't have classes, but on Wednesday we finish this this unit actually, right? On Wednesday, you are going to have until Thursday to hand in and to present or submit your 9 new words for Unit 3. And Friday, you start the last unit with me. And remember that Monday, the next one, right to this following one, is going to be for presenting the final essay. That is the only essay that you have to present, plus the last 9 new words. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. Let's please work on this step now. Michaela, let's read it out.
Okay. Step 3, present your thesis statement. Now it's time to narrow your focus and show exactly what you want to say about the topic. This is your thesis statement, a sentence or two that sums up your overall argument. This is the most important sentence in your introduction. A good thesis isn't just a statement of fact, but a claim that requires evidence and explanation. The goal is to clearly convey your own position in a debate or your central point about a topic.
Great, thank you very much. Now, right, this is the most important part of your thesis, actually, of the entire thesis, because this is going to guide anything that you're going to write about in the body paragraph and in the conclusion, right? Everything is based on this idea. Of course, the first part was a presentation, like, this is my topic, right? This is something related to my topic so that you can understand why it is important. Now I'm going to tell you what I believe is correct about that topic. Okay, it's like saying that. It's like my topic, some background, and now my belief or my opinion, but opinion based on evidence, right? Because it's something that you need to prove. If you don't have evidence for that one, it's going to be hard to support that idea. Okay, so here, you're going to use my recommendation is to use a transitional word, remember, of conclusion or summary, but not a big conclusion, just the conclusion for your introduction that is going to be the result of this information. So some important words that you can use are therefore, thus, and as a result. Okay, but remember that you have more, but those are advisable because it's like after I said this is what I think. Okay, but again, if you want to be formal, you're going to avoid using first person. So you can always use third person and a way of saying it's important, vital, essential, and so on. So here I'm going to say something like that. Okay, therefore, it is vital, let's say, now, what idea can I have about this? I'm talking about education, technology, online classes. So if online classes are now part of education, it means that we need to have people that are trained, right, to use these tools. If we don't have people who know how to deal with technical problems, who don't know how to use these platforms, and if we just want to put like good professors, but they don't have any knowledge about technology, it is not going to work, right? So my idea is that it's vital to train, right, people, to train teachers, professors in the usage of these tools. Okay, so that's my idea. Technology has a spread, education is affected by that. So it is vital to train, right, all teachers or just teachers and professors in charge of these professors of these sorry, online classes to obtain a better result. Okay, so again, I'm just making that up. They would say a better result, better results. No, it's okay, a better result or better results to make this better for them. Good, that's more general. I think that's better. There you go. So that's it. Okay, so this is what I think about technology and education, about online classes, that teachers, professors have to be trained to give a better quality, right? And to obtain better results in general. So that's it. That's again my idea. It's something that has to be your idea, but you need to show evidence to prove that. Evidence can be showing that trained professors give better classes or perform better in classes, or the opposite, right? That if the professor or teacher is not trained, the class can be affected, the online class can be affected by it. So that's it. In my case, that's my idea. Kaela, let's do the same, please. Let's have 2 minutes and try to give me what your main thesis statement is. Okay, we check in 2 minutes. All right, so we are with the 2 minutes. Let's take a look at that. With that, we should be ready. But remember, actually, that's something we're going to read afterwards. So I'm going to save my comments for after we read that. Let's please read your thesis statement then.
Okay, I'm not sure. Therefore, the use of social media from a young age limits communication skills. So the use of it should be limited until a reasonable age.
Okay, good. Yes, I think it's great. It is a thesis statement because that's, I believe, and again, when I say believe, it doesn't mean that it's not scientifically proved, right? But it's a belief that you're showing in the thesis that is going to be supported by evidence that you're going to look for on the net or any source that you have, right? Of course, here you only need the net, but that's the idea. So it's good. In all, you're saying that because of those limits, right, it should be limited until a reasonable age. And that's good. It means that on your thesis this is your thesis statement, on your essay, you have to show that. Okay, you need to show either why it is a good idea to limit that to a reasonable age, or you need to show what's that reasonable age and what's the difference between a person before that age and after that age, right? Or you can show benefits of waiting until using social media, or you can also show disadvantages of using social media before that age, right? So you have a broad amount of things that you can use just because of the thesis statement that you choose. Okay, so to me, it is good. I believe it shows clearly what your position is in terms of using social media because of the limits it has. Okay, so that's it. I believe that then your introduction is ready with that. Now, again, to be sure that it's like that, and this is part of the evaluation, Micaela, it's important, please, that you color. This is something you have to do also in your final essay. You color your parts, each step with a different color. Okay, I'm repeating the words, but sorry, not this one over here. Okay, it has to be highlighted. For example, you can use any color you want, but in order to have it in your essay, you're going to do it like I'm doing now. Each part is going to have a different color, and you're going to put them together. Okay, everything has to be part then of the same paragraph. That's the main idea. Okay, so here and here. There you go. So, and in general, you should have something like this. And something also that you're going to do is you're going to try to bold all of the transitional words that you're using. Remember that you have to use a minimum of 6 transitional words, right? So here I didn't use it, but actually this is considered a connector due to the pandemic. That's one of the causal connectors that you have. So it's up to you, but remember that you're going to need a minimum of 6. All right, I'm going to delete that one. So this is what you need to have. I'm going to mark due to, that's one of the connectors that I'm using. And therefore, you know, all of those, but therefore that's another connector that I'm using. Okay, so something like this, it needs to be your essay. And your introduction should have a minimum of 3 colors. And everything has to be together, right? Because that's only one paragraph, which is the introduction. Now we are going to go to work with the context or with the body paragraphs now. And again, because of the time, 8 minutes, we're going to work at least the first 1 or 2 steps. But if you have questions about this first part, let me know. You just need to be sure that you are coloring all your steps. All right, so that's one. Let's go to body paragraph if you don't have any questions, but I'm just going to read this also. Not everything, but I'm going to mark the most important parts. There's not a 4th step. This is just check and revise. Remember that after you write your essay, Michaela, you can decide if that was really your thesis statement. Perhaps you wrote something and you realize that you are supporting a different idea that is not related to the limit, but is related to something else with social media. You can change, right? That's why some people write this at the end sometimes, but you can change everything in your introduction according to how you get information and how good your body paragraphs are built. Okay, if you feel again that you were aiming towards something different, you can change that at the end. Okay, so that's just a thing that I had to mention, that you can change your introduction after you finish writing everything. So let's go now to the body paragraphs. You need a minimum of 2. Actually, it's advisable to have 3, but because of the number of words and I don't want to create more complications, we're only going to have 2. Okay, only 2 body paragraphs, and for the 420, it's going to be more than enough. This is the first step. Let's read please this one, Michaela.
Okay, insert a topic sentence. It encapsulates and organize an entire paragraph, although topic sentences may appear anywhere in a paragraph. In academic essays, they often appear at the beginning. When creating a topic sentence, ask yourself what's going on in your paragraph. Why have you chosen to include the information you have? Why is the paragraph important in the context of your argument or thesis statement? What point are you trying to make?
Very good. Thank you very much. So, in other words, you have to start supporting your thesis statement by saying something related to that idea, to your thesis statement, and that helps understanding that. And again, that gives evidence to that. So in my case, right now, that was the introduction. Now this is the body paragraphs. Right now, those are my body paragraphs. Let's go to step 1. That is, again, this is just to have that organized. And the topic sentence. We say sentence, but remember that a sentence can be complex, compound. It means that it can have 1, 2 complete ideas, or even 3 complete ideas. Okay, so it depends on how you organize your topic sentence. So if I say that training teachers and professors right in charge of these online classes can give better results, I can show what those results are. Okay, so I can say simply first, or any of those expressions, right? The commands, right? To start with, remember that it's advisable to use those connectors. Okay, so first, the commands to start with, comma, we have to, all right, we have to, you can mention directly as I'm going to do here. Okay, we have to mention all directly the benefits that a trained professor can bring to an online class. Okay, I'm going to say that as simple as that. Now I can say benefits without developing more, because actually my paragraph is going to be about those benefits. All right, that's one idea. I'm going to give one more. Another one can be, and then you decide what you want to talk about. Another one can be not the benefits, but actually it can focus on the opposite, right? First, to commence, to start with, it is essential to recognize all the skills that, and this is also something that we can take a look at, all the skills that have to be developed to increase or to enhance the experience for students in online classes. Okay, so that's my idea now. And what am I doing is the following, is that I want to show now in this paragraph, what are the skills that these professors or teachers have to enhance, improve, right? They have to make that better in order to do this, to obtain better results for online classes. Okay, by doing that, again, I go to YouTube, or sorry, to Google. I look for skills that teachers need in online classes, and they are going to give me some characteristics, right? They need to work with these platforms. They need to have a good sense in this area and this, and so on and so forth, right? With that, I'm giving tools to recognize what and how these teachers can be trained to support this idea. Okay, so again, these are options. You can approach your thesis in many ways. And again, if I recognize at the end that my thesis is not supporting this idea, but is saying it's important to recognize what skills we need to develop, then I can change it, right? So you can play with this, with what you believe you're supporting, but at the end, you analyze one more time your essay and you can change your thesis statement. All right, so with that, please, Kayla, again, if you have questions, let me know, but we're going to finish with this. Let's have 2 minutes and try to write what your topic sentence is going to be. it means you need to tell me what your first paragraph is going to show us that is going to support your thesis statement. All right, let's do it, please. We check in 2 minutes. All right, good. So we're with those 2 minutes. And once again, it's up to you. Here you have a lot of options, but you need to think of the best ones according to your thesis statement. You can say that you're going to talk about the benefits, right? You can say you're going to talk about actually the advantages or disadvantages. You can say that you're going to talk about, again, the characteristics of that thing that you want to say or you want to do, right? Anything that is going to show, again, why it can be important. For example, in my case, if I decide first to talk about all the skills that are important to be developed in teachers and professors, then in the second part, I can complement that with the benefits. Now, in that case, now I can talk about the benefits of having those characteristics, right? If a teacher has that skill, then the benefit is going to be that the student is going to feel like this or like that, or I don't know, right? So you can connect your paragraphs, but again, it's up to you. Or it can be one paragraph for benefit, the other one for the negative side of doing that, one for advantages, the other one for disadvantages, one for their characteristics, and the other one for, I don't know, right, the elements that are missing in that thing that you want to implement or whatever you think you are supporting. But that's more or less the idea. Let's read, please, your topic sentence, and
Okay, to start with, it is important to analyze the impact on the communication skill of teens who are born in the last decade.
Okay, good. The last decade. All right. Yes, of course, it's related to your thesis. That is clear. Now, here, this can be very huge, right? What you're going to do. Of course, analyzing that is going to be very, very general, and it's going to be very extensive if you work on all the impacts, right? Perhaps you can reduce that a little bit and you can mention only some of them, right? And you can clarify here. We are going to analyze 3 elements or 2 elements that were the result, right, of the impact of communication skills of teenagers in this decade. But again, that's up to you. That's going to use more words, but it's going to limit the thing you're going to do a little bit. All right, but I think it's good. Once again, it's just you trying to see how many of those things you're going to mention. In my case, also, I didn't mention how many. I mentioned that in general, right? All the skills in this case, and perhaps they are a lot. So as I'm going and doing some research, if I find too many skills, perhaps I'm just going to say it's essential to recognize at least 3, right, of the most important skills that a teacher has to develop. In that case, my thesis, or sorry, my body paragraph is not going to be that long. Okay, so again, I'm giving ideas because once again, the most common difficulty here, and perhaps you're going to see that later on, at least in this essay, the final essay in this course, is that sometimes they have a very big right introduction, a very good first paragraph, but the second one is very short, and the conclusion is just 2 or 3 lines, right? And yet it doesn't look good, and not only in terms of appearance, but it feels like incomplete. All right, so the first part is very well structured, but the last parts are very, very short because of the number of words. Okay, so again, that's my recommendation. If you feel you're going to be using a lot, try to reduce that. Try to mention only 2 or 3 characteristics so that you have the words that you need, just because of the limit that you have in this essay. But that's it. With that, we're finishing here, Michaela. We're going to cover the last 4, actually the rest, that is the majority of it, 4 or 5 elements for the body paragraph, plus the 3 for the conclusion. So I don't know if you have any questions before finishing with that, Michaela. Let me know, please.
No, teacher, thank you so much.
Good. No, there you go. You're welcome. So now I'm going to share. Where is it? Give me, please. Actually, I'm going to ask you to do the following. They did not give me access. This survey, sorry, this meeting was supposed to end in 40 minutes because my license was deactivated. But in the middle of this class, I received a notification that it was activated again. So look, this is what I want to do. Please join the class one more time. All right, I'm going to end it, but join the link one more time. I'm going to join also. It's just that I don't have access to the surveys that I created. All right,
Okay.
leave please the class, and in 2 minutes, join in 2 minutes, please, Emika.
Okay, teacher.
All right, good. Let's do it, please.
Okay.